Okay, we are going to start going live here. I don't know how many people have signed up or who's going to go. I'm trying something different. I'm going to be outside, partly because of it being nice weather, and also as kind of a way to model. One of the things, there's a nice tree over my shoulder. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a fake picture. That even though we need to be social distancing, make sure you guys understand that it's a good thing to get outside. Exercise, sun, all the things I go to on a daily basis talk about making sure you stay active as well as keeping the social distance going. So beautiful day when it's nice, get outside. Make sure you're careful not to be around a bunch of people, but find some time to make sure you're staying healthy with everything else as well. So I am going to wait a little bit as I start. The good thing about this is that I can still do, even if no one watches, then it just becomes another one of my updates. So I will go ahead and start with updates, and as I see questions, hopefully I'm doing it right this time. If I see questions, then I'll go ahead and answer them in the feed here. So I'm on my phone, so it's a little bit different, but I like the backdrop there. It's a nice little look, and I don't know if everyone can hear me, but I'll speak loudly. So the first thing is we are still working on a new phone system. Not the best timing. We knew we were going to do a new phone system well before any of this hit. So we wanted to make sure that we still are continuing on all the school improvement things we're working on. It has been a little bit rocky, so we're not trying not to answer the phones. Honestly, we don't always know which phone's ringing or how to transfer things. So keep trying. We are learning every day how that works better. The phones are working. We're just, if it rings a long time, it's not because we're ignoring you. It's because we're trying to figure out how to answer and transfer things like that. Another thing, meals. Just a reminder for meals that I'm waving back. Figuring out how this thing works. Another thing on meals, it's gone wonderfully. Thank you all, and make sure you thank Darla and the cooks and the teachers who volunteer to help. They are really probably the biggest unsung heroes right now, because they have fed more people than we normally are used to feeding, even on a regular school day. It's still free. It's free even on days where you might decide, hey, I haven't done it all this entire time, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. You can come whenever you feel like it. So again, 1 to 18, anyone that wants to come and eat, just stop by and eat. If you want to grab the thing for tomorrow, I've had a few questions about why we want you to get out of your car. There's different rules and expectations, and this grant is through the USDA, and it's their best practices is to keep the table at six feet, and then everyone that goes and serves the food is gloved. We check their temperature and we make sure they're healthy. If we have them going to every car, we can't control the environment as well as you come into them. So the food is prepared by people who have been tested, and that's how they recommend it being safe. We're not trying to force you to take extra steps. It's just that's what they recommend. So but for Friday and Monday, we will not be serving meals because it is a scheduled Easter break, and so I know traveling is gonna not always be what you can do at this time. It's really bugging me seeing that cowlick there. But take some time to get with family, even if you have to. Like we have, experiment with new technologies and set up a Zoom link with somebody. Maybe there'll be family you haven't seen in a long time that can get on and do a Zoom or a Facebook Live, and maybe you can see family in a different way. It's not ideal, but I hope everyone has that opportunity, and that includes our staff too, the ones who have been working around the clock, seems like, to keep everything running. So we are taking those days so they can have some of that time off too. Then we'll be back to our regular schedule. So that's another update. Another one is I know there's some. I was going to bring it. I don't know if Miss Frazie's. I can see who's on, but I'm not going to mess up my phone trying to look. Miss Frazie always, if you know me very well, I fidget a lot, and Miss Frazie always gives me different fidgets. And one of them she gave me years ago is this little goat that when you push on it, it screams. And so my thinking was, I was going to show you that because that was the biggest reaction I got this first full week, with some parents just feeling overwhelmed, kids feeling overwhelmed. First of all, I want to say just kudos on your engagement. It has been absolutely amazing. I do daily meetings statewide, and I do weekly meetings from various organizations. The issues they're having is more that people are just not doing anything. Here, it's more that you feel like you're overly engaged and there's too much to do. Keep in mind the hold harmless grading. Our intent is to give your students engagement they need, and as much as they need and as much as you can tolerate too. And we're here. It might not be in your normal way of getting to interact with us, but please don't go home, especially on days like this, and feel like I got to do 3 more hours of homework with kids in multiple grades. I want you to try your best to engage your kids, but don't make it a stressor. We want them to take it seriously, and we want them to be doing their work, but not if it's going to be something where it causes undue stress. There's enough going on. We're here to try to make this a positive as much as we can, and it won't be if you feel like it becomes another stressor at home. So engage on the content and understand it's hold harmless, but don't, if it becomes a stressor, reach out to your teacher, reach out to me or Mr. Wilderman, and we'll support you. Another one, I want to just go ahead and, this is just a general thing. It's not any, I see a lot of the teachers' pages and a lot of the posts. Make sure the kids are doing what they call online citizenship. This is still school equipment, and this is still our classrooms. So be mindful of what's in your background. Be mindful of what we're wearing. Not so much you can be comfortable, but just when you're in a closed group, that is a classroom, and that's probably been the biggest thing we talk about on our state and local meetings, is just making sure that we keep people safe in a digital world. We have not had one issue here at Hoxie. I just don't want us to be one of those that has, now they have the internet. We're trying all these great things, and now you have Zoom bombing, and you have all these other things that people are trying to infiltrate our learning process. So if you have one of those, just make sure you're cautious, and that includes just when you have your students on the camera. Remember that is their classroom, and there might be other kids that can see it, or adults, and you really want to make sure that they understand that. Even just like me working on my porch right now outside, I'm addressing students and staff and community members like if I were behind my desk, and that's a hard thing for kids to understand. So along with that is just make sure on the 2 new apps that we opened up that you normally wouldn't have, that's Google Meet and the Hangouts, and now we've also pushed out the Zoom to some of these devices. They're excellent communication tools, but understand that when kids are using this Google Meet, they can meet without there being class in session. The good news is they can only meet with other Hoxie students. They cannot meet outside of our Hoxie.org network. But if you have screen regulations, or you don't want them outside of class time on the computer too much, they still have that ability. Or if you just want some time where the kid's like, I really miss my friends and I haven't seen such and so, you can arrange times to actually meet with them when it's not a scheduled class meeting. But just be mindful that when they have that device, that they can still meet with each other. That function was closed because of that, because it can be a distraction when we were in school. But it's still something you can use as a tool, but don't feel like that just because it's a school device that we're monitoring at all times. When we open those up, it's open, and kids have access to it whether we have a teacher teaching a lesson or not. Mostly positive, and honestly we haven't had anything negative. I just want you to be aware that you might see them using a school Chromebook, but they could still be off task. Not that our students would ever do that. As Dale Dennis says, that's someone in another district doing those things, but make sure you're mindful of that. Other than that, I think and we're obviously biased, I think we are exceptional, and we've done exceptionally well. The teachers are working hard, the custodians, maintenance, the cooks, everyone has done amazing as far as the school staff, and your guys' response has been amazing. I know it can be stressful and different, but everyone has just rolled with it and really shows what kind of community this is. I hear horror stories statewide. It's every day, meeting after meeting, trying to get a better bearing on, what we can do to just be more effective. And we're not having those problems. And I'm not saying we might not still need things we can improve, but I just appreciate your support, and so does the staff. And honestly, I know the things I hear from the teachers is how much they just miss seeing the kids. And that's not everywhere you go. There's some people who, that's not the narrative. So the teachers are wanting to see your kids, and I know your kids want to see the teachers. So keep engaging in that way. So I'm looking at this now, and I can see who's on here. So I'm going to stop for this and see if anyone has any questions. Right now, all I see who is watching, and I can wave at people, but I do not see any comments. I think I saw Mandy on there. Mandy, can you just type test and see how that comment pops up? Not to put her on the spot, but I think I saw her pop up. Because I can see who's on here. Right now, we don't have a ton of people watching. For anyone just joining me, it's coming later. I just wanted to explain why I'm outside. That tree's perfect in the background. Just reminding the kids and yourselves to get outside, stay healthy, stay active. It's an important part of kind of beating this thing, not just physically, but also emotionally, to make sure people can I'll send myself over here. Alright, that's what it does. Okay. Well, I'll stay on for a little bit longer. That was really all I had for updates. One more thing. A lot of we still talked about maybe people who are not wanting to use all their the computers they have, or not having what they need. So the two main things we're seeing is, one, we're still working on connectivity, and obviously if you don't have connectivity, you're probably not watching this. If you need internet, it's free for 3 months through Nextech. We gave you those flyers. If you need support, call us, and I will give them your address, and we will make sure. Thanks, Mandy. And we will make sure that they have the internet they need. Also, devices. If you ever have any issues, just let us know. If you have a computer that's not working properly, if you have a device that's not meeting your needs, just let us know. We'll probably not do it until next week, but we'll probably, I think sometime maybe next Wednesday, we'll set up a place where you can bring back things that you, like I said, that you don't want to have. We haven't had a main push for that, but I know several people have said, we got computers and we don't need a stack of Chromebooks just in their rooms. So if you want to bring those back, we'll find a safe way. We'll find a safe way to get those where you can turn them back in and get them out of your way. Other than that, I'll wait just a little bit longer. I like doing this format. It's not ideal. Every time moving forward, I'm going to try to bring maybe a teacher or do it at a different location. I love the fact that I can, if I wanted to, I could be walking around with my phone, just going live whatever we can, being able to model to the kids and to the this can happen anywhere you want it to. So, my sister's actually on. She doesn't have kids in Hoxie, but hi, Sherry. But if anybody else, did you say something about the new phones? Yes, Mandy, I said we were fighting those phones. And thank you for reminding us that we're not all the way proficient with the new system yet. It's going to be a huge step forward, but it's just, if it rings, let it ring. And eventually we're going to also have it where those phones can be forwarded to other addresses. And so that they can work from home too. And then when the phone rings, it will be forwarded to the secretary's cell phone. So thank you. All right. If I don't see any other questions and no one has anything else for the live feed, I left this comment chats open so you can ask comments later. I will take this video and I will pin it to the top, and then I will also put it on the YouTube and send it out to everybody just as a normal update. So thank you again, everybody. It's been a wonderful, for all things considered, stay healthy. But this has been, I know we're biased, but I'd put our school up against anybody else. It says, what is the process for getting more schoolwork packets for grade school students? Secondly, hello, move the camera so we can see you. You can't see me? Can you see me now? I can see me. Very good question. So if you have more packets, talk with your teacher. Right now, the way we're thinking we're going to do it is probably going to mail it. We'll disinfect it. It doesn't live more than 24 hours on paper, so we'll go ahead and mail that. And then also it says junior highs know that students are supposed to be working. Is there a universal method for parents and junior high students to know what their students are supposed to be working on for each class? We don't have a master. We have a master schedule that you would have received, but we don't have. You'll have to talk to each teacher as far as their expectations. And if you do want something universal, I can talk with Mr. Wilderman. Maybe have him come to one of these live feeds. But very, very good questions. But yes, on packets, if you need more, reach out to your teacher, and we will get it to you in a safe way. Camera, we can see you. That's what I thought. Okay, that was a good question. Any other questions? These are just people coming on. I can wave at them as they go by. Okay, well, I don't want to sit here and just keep saying any questions. So again, wonderful interaction for our first few full days of our first full week. Come get our free lunch, and I know the staff loves seeing the kids if they can come with you. And we really appreciate how much we've all come together on this, and how much you guys have stayed flexible throughout the process. And we will do everything we can. All you gotta do is ask. Anything that we can make this more accessible to you, we will try. And so you just gotta let us know. So again, I appreciate everything you guys have done, and we will continue to do. We're going to just make this a weekly thing, so I'll just have a live update every Wednesday at 5, maybe 5:01, 5:02. My Uncle Bill used to say people will remember times if you don't make it an even number, so that's why I put 5:01. So anyway, thank you all for everything you're doing, and I appreciate the support, and so does the staff, and we miss your kids. Stay safe so we can get out of this sooner and get back to normal. Thank you.